Here's part 2, why it matters. I was once given a wonderful little teaching that I'll pass on to you. It simply says, you cannot rub your hand against the grain of the universe and not expect a few splinters. You can't go against the way things were created to be and not expect problems. You see, my friends, we have forgotten who we were created to be. We have forgotten that we were created in the image of God, and that part of that image is God's wild, untamed generosity. Part of that image in which each and every one of us is created is God's unfettered desire that all people, equally created in God's image, might enjoy the blessings and joys of the gift of life. God has created the earth and its people in goodness and has given us the gift of life to be enjoyed and treasured. When we see a sister or brother for whom life has become more burden than blessing, it is God's command that we do all that we can to restore the joy to that one's life. When we see one who is sick and turn away, or one who is naked and refuses to offer clothing, one who is hungry and we withhold food and water, or we see one who is in prison and turn our backs, or know of one who is in need of any kind and just pretend that they do not exist, we rub our hands against the grain of the universe. God created us to care for each other, and when we fail to do that, the creation doesn't work as God intended it to. Not only do we deprive the one who is in need, but we deprive ourselves of the happiness that God intended for us. What Glen, Beck, and many other Christians believe today is that it's all about God and me. The most important question for them is, if I were to die tonight, do I know where I would spend eternity? God sees the most important question as, if my neighbor in need dies tonight, how will I face tomorrow? The problem is not what it appears. It would appear that there simply isn't enough for everyone, and that is why some are in need, but that is not true. It is not a supply problem. It is a distribution problem. Some have more than they need and can use, and some don't have enough. Some consume more than their share, leaving others to do without. Some, like Glen Beck, who, according to the best part of our Sunday paper, the Parade magazine, some, like Glen Beck, who makes $23 million a year, don't really want to share with those who have far, far, far less. They never learn the lesson that to those whom much has been given, much will be expected. Which is a teaching from Jesus, recorded in Luke 12:48, for those keeping track at home. They may even discover that Jesus was serious when he taught, according to Matthew 7:21, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, shall enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven. This aberration of Christianity, in which love for God is all that matters, a false Christianity that Glen Beck seems to be advocating, and which far too many appear to be preaching and practicing these days, that cannot be allowed to stand unchallenged. The very nature of Christianity is threatened by such attitudes, expressed or unexpressed. that is why Glen Beck's wrong-headed comments matter greatly. They present a false Christianity that the uninformed will quickly believe to be true. We're finished. I recently told a group in the church that I'd love to create a coat of arms for this congregation. I'll leave it up to our artists to come up with some designs, but I know what the motto of the coat of arms might be. For God and neighbor. That is why we and all Christian people are on this planet. We are here to give glory to God and to love our neighbors in ways that bring them happiness. For the simple, practical truth is that when our neighbor is as happy as we are, when everyone experiences justice, when everyone knows the joy of life, when everyone breathes freely, then we will all know peace, happiness, joy, and love. And the earth will be as God created it to be. And what a day that will be. A day that will go on